It's the thrill of one more kill, the last one to fall. We'll never sacrifice their will. Don't ever look back on the world closing in. Be on the attack with your wings on the wind. All the games will begin, and it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. And it's ours for the taking. It's ours for the fight. In the sweet, sweet, sweet victory. And the waters has to fall. The winner takes all.
Sweet, sweet victory indeed for Will as he won the regular season. But you know what? That is behind us. And now we start the playoffs. So welcome to our Week 15 predictions video. Or really, if we say, right, our playoffs round 1. That song, of course, was brought to you by Will, who still number 1, finished the regular season number 1. Actually kind of brings up a good question, right? Of like, then what do we do for the playoffs? Like, who picks the song? I don't know. We'll worry about that after this week, right? So that, of course, was Sweet Victory by David, Glenn Easley, and Bob Kulick. Of course, picked by Will, who finished the regular season as our number 1 team. So, all right, what do we got ahead of us for today? So, as you can see in front of you, we're staring at the playoff bracket. The good playoffs, at least, not talking about the consolation bracket or the toilet bowl or whatever you want to call that. We'll reference that for like 12 seconds in this video and then we'll move on. But for the most part, we will talk about the main bracket because that's where, of course, all of our money lies. And we talked before, right? We know the seedings. We know how it all finished out. We know what we're up against this week. We have 2 main matchups. And that is exactly what we're going to break down today as part of today's video. Would that be that, Sean versus Dez matchup? And then, of course, the Ian versus myself, which honestly is already all over. So let's jump in, right? And we'll talk about the matchup. So we can back out of screen here. We'll take a look. And we'll start with Sean versus Dez. Neither team has had any player as of yet right now. And projections say, hey, they're both going to score a good amount of points and be very, very close. I don't think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be very heavily dominated by Sean because Sean's team has been phenomenal as of lately, especially the last few weeks, especially last week. And I think by how matchups and injuries and all of that are going to fall, I think he's going to continue to do that. So I definitely think if you scroll through his team, and we don't have to put too much time into it, I think, Jaden Daniels will have a pretty good week. Let's see who else. Yeah, Charbonnet. I think he, if I remember right, Walker's not playing, so he's going to get every single touch. Again, probably kick off. I mean, why not? He does everything when he's the only running back, or at least he did last week. And then McBride, I think he'll also have a really good week. I mean, there's a lot of players on his team that I think Wilson against Jacksonville, Sutton, I think will continue. He picked up his defense, but it's Baltimore against the Giants, who I think will score big. So, sorry, Dez. I'm not saying whatever you do this week doesn't matter, but whatever you do this week does not matter. But if you want to make it interesting, here's exactly where you need to be, right? Not that I need to tell you. You know. I mean, you need your running backs, right, to overperform. You need Mixon. You need Kamara to have just huge, huge weeks. I mean, and then probably not just your running backs, probably your wide receivers too, right? You need JJ here, Jefferson to outscore his projections. You need Harrison to not have that inconsistent week. All of that would have to come in alignment for you to win Could happen. Definitely could happen. I would love to see this matchup be very high scoring and fun to watch because the next one we're going to talk about won't be and is already over. So this one would actually be fun to see, both teams in the 140s, heck, 170s to see who moves on. How much fun would that be? And actually, let's see. Do they have Monday players? Sean does not. Oh, Dez does. Bowers. That's right now Darnold. Oh, that would be fun, right? Let's go into Monday. Let's say Dez is down. So it'll be 20, 35. Let's say 40, 45 points. Something like that where he needs his players to exceed projections to give him a chance to win. The stress is on the line. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what we want, right? To finish the season, especially for both Sean and Dez. Heck, yeah, feel my pain. Feel that pressure. Because we know, right? If you lose, it sucks. Because then, why did you even really make the playoffs? It doesn't matter. Now you're not competing for the top 3 positions. You're competing to either be 5th or 6th. And honestly, there's no money on the line, and it's kind of terrible position in the draft. It's like where you don't want to be. So you just really don't want to lose this first round of the playoffs. You ideally would have wanted that bye, like Clint and Will got, or you want to win and move on. But that's not what I'm saying you're going to do here. I'm giving the edge to Sean. We love Sean's team. We're on the bandwagon. We actually think he's a playoff favorite, which we will talk about here in a minute. But Sean gets the win and hopefully a shootout. Next. Oh, myself versus Ian. And Purdy at 4.98 points. Isaac Guerrero, it scored 11.5. I mean, of course, I would have loved to have a lot more than that, but I guess it could have been worse. And speaking of worse, Cooper Kupp, 0 points. Just, I don't know. Can't explain it other than just saying fantasy football is stupid sometimes. Just how it works out. Why? Because, 49ers, what the hell? The Bills versus the Rams, right? The week prior, it was 50-50. Both teams putting up points like crazy, scoring. So how do you score 6 points? I don't get it. I actually thought this matchup was going to be incredible when I heard Guerrero was actually going to play. I'm like, this is going to be great. All 3 of my players that are scoring or that are playing so far should, be double what they're projected. But no, didn't happen. For Ian, he had Kittle. He didn't score to projections either. But you know what he didn't do? He didn't have 0. And all of that combined, Ian's projected to win. I hate math as of right now because I don't care. It's just by a lot. Ian's going to win by a lot. No matter what happens, Ian would have to have a player score 0 or darn close to it, get injured right away, and then go out, get 0 points from his defense, which is Kansas City. That's not going to happen against Cleveland. Heck, no. They'll probably have, 3 pick sixes against them. Ku's going to have 4 50-yard field goal. And, yeah. Anyways, Ian, congrats. You're already going to win. We don't need to break it down anymore. We don't need to feel the pain, the pressure. So, ultimately, right, we're saying Sean, Ian, they both win. They both advance. And they face, then, Will and Clint next week. So like we said, we're going to spend 12 seconds. So already took that long just to pull it up. The consolation bracket, the losers bracket, lovers bracket, whatever you want to call it. Those that did not actually make the playoffs. And something that's kind of funny, right? Well, let's look at the matchups. You got Josh versus Jake and Jeremy versus Jay, with the bye weeks being Adam and John. Man, if your name starts with a J, you were doomed from the start in this league because all 5 of you do not make the actual playoffs, and you're in this losers bracket. So, yeah, maybe that was already fate that just based on your name alone, you were destined for a terrible year. But you know what? There's still a lot on the line. We've already exceeded our 12 seconds, but just know whoever wins this bracket gets the number 1 pick. Second place gets the number 2 pick. Third place gets the number 3, and so on as you go. So picks 1 through 6 are up for grabs as of right now. When it comes to next year's draft. So, all right. What's next? We talked about the 2 matchups this week. We talked about the losers bracket. Oh, yeah. Let's talk playoff predictions, shall we? Let's pull it back up. So, again, Will, Clint, They have the buys. And we said Sean and Ian were both going to win, right? And then that would put Ian versus Will next round. I definitely think, yeah, I think Will's going to have an easy, matchup that week. I know it only shows Will as 100 points right now. I didn't click on it. I didn't see why it's showing him so low. He probably hasn't changed his team from having a bye week or something like that last week. But I think Will wins easily, and beats Ian and advances into the championship round. And then it would be Clint versus Sean, and I think Sean's got that matchup. I know Clint also has a really good team. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be high scoring, but I think Sean does it again. He scores another really high scoring week, and ends up beating out Clint and making it to the championship round. And then we would have Will versus Sean, right? And then who wins? If I was a betting man, I am. If DraftKings would allow me to bet on this, which, that would be pretty cool, right? They would actually follow our fantasy football league and allow us to bet on it. I would actually, I'd put all my money on Sean to win this league this week, next week, to beat Will in the championship, based on, again, injuries, team's performance, the last few weeks, and the fact that he's Sean Cash. And we have faith in him, and we actually think that he, by far, is the playoff favorite. So that is my pick to win, not only again this week. I'm already giving it up, right, of who I'm picking probably next week if all the dominoes fall exactly how we have it lined up. Sean's going to continue to win, and then move on and then beat Will in the championship, or Will or Ian, whoever it may be. He's going to claim victory, and then we'll never hear the end of it. I'll have to announce, which of course I'm not looking forward to, and praising Sean for winning and so on, but it's my job as commissioner to give you accurate predictions, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do here, based on what I see, what I know, what I'm feeling, and that is Sean's going to win the championship this year. But we have multiple weeks to figure all that out and determine that, but that's just the way that I think everything is going to fall. So there you go. There's who's winning this week. Sean, Ian, congratulations. And who we're picking, of course, to win it all. We'll love to see how that all finishes up. So, all right, we'll turn it back to Will's pick here for our intro song for week 15 as we look at predictions. We talk playoff round 1, but we'll turn it back over to Sweet Victory. Good luck, everyone.
It don't win no silver.